Hello, everyone. Today we will be looking into Oracle Time and Labor. So, last few sessions that we had checked or explored was all about the absences in Oracle Cloud. So, in the next few sessions, which will be coming forward, that is mostly on the time and labor. So, today's session agenda is to understand why we need time and labor. What is time and labor? How do we get started with Oracle time and labor implementation? What is all the thing to be known before we start to implement TL for any of our clients? Uh, so that's the main objective of today's session. So we would not be looking at any configurations. In the future sessions, we would be seeing how the basic configuration can be done, what is all required for the basic setup of time and labor, and what is all available as a pre-built feature from Oracle. So let's check all of that. Now, let's understand why we need time and labor. Uh, to understand why we need time and labor, we must understand what is time and labor. Time and labor, like the name itself says, it's time and labor. So it's staff to record their time tracking, to uh, to compensate them accordingly for the time they work. They need to receive their payment. So any organization will have to record this time, and accordingly for them, the payment or any compensation for the overtime they work or the other benefits they are expected to get based on the legal rules they have, that has to be that's basically a time and labor implementation. Uh, Here, what is all the key components that we would be seeing is it's a time entry, like in any organization, if they have the legacy system where they are maintaining it in the ledger. In previous days, it used to be maintained in the ledger. Now, slowly, they have moved forward and they are feeding all of this data in the system. And how do we automate it? Now everyone has to come update their record, and then they have to calculate. So all of the manual work has to be reduced, which is why we have this Oracle solution where most of the calculation. So if I say some of the staff needs to be paid like more money. Some of them has to be paid less based on their experience. Then the Oracle has some inbuilt feature, like not just about the experiences they or the seniority they get, also based on the location they work. They'll get a different payment. So how is all that can be configured in Oracle? We must be knowing that. And what is the importance of Oracle time and labor in HCM Cloud? Uh, Here it helps to get the accuracy, basically because it's more of the automation. Most of the calculation that's already there inbuilt. Uh, the, Whatever the errors that human make can be reduced, and hence we could reach that accuracy, and the efficient solution can be achieved. So to effectively achieve that, we need Oracle Cloud. We have the other third-party vendors, like other ERP system as well, who provides this time labor solution. How is it different from Oracle? What is more extensive and flexible in Oracle Cloud than in other systems? So these things we must be knowing. So yeah, like I was saying, based on the legal compliances in the law compliances, we should be able to meet the requirement. And is it possible that uh, through the Oracle Cloud, we have to check that? Like we have, how do we configure the break or the meal time in the Oracle time label? How do we configure the overtime? Is overtime allowed? If it is allowed, how it needs to be configured? So these are the things to be known. Now, this is in continuation with the last slides. How is it going to help? I had already mentioned that most of the things can be automated here because of the calculation that is there inbuilt, and also the custom calculation can be fed into the solution. And legislation rules, like we have some built-in rules based on the legislation. North America, South America, Canada, Asian countries, based on those countries we have inbuilt features for them, so those rules can be used, and it can be implemented more easily than what we could actually achieve it through the normal system. And it is not just whatever the pre-built function that we can use, that it is not just limited for that. We can also extend this and customize our own rules, and we can fit in there. And in case Oracle doesn't, I mean, the client that you're implementing the time and labor, if they aren't choosing the other modules like HR, payroll, absences, compensation benefits, if they are only looking for the time and labor, how do we integrate? Is it easier for the integrate into another system or third party system? That also should be known. How do we integrate? Is it through, we have the OIC in Oracle for integration to get the real time data and then send it to the Oracle time labor from the third party vendors, or from the Oracle to the third party vendors to move? Or is it based on batch transition, that is file based movement? It is asynchronous basic, because we will schedule this. After some point, it goes and sits some data, whatever that we are expecting from the third party, it goes and sits in a file in some location, and that would be fetched from Oracle. Similarly, the other way around. The other thing which we saw, the real-time OIC or the REST API integration, is called synchronous integration. So how do we make use of all this for the Oracle time and labor? If in case the Oracle, the client is actually opting the other modules along with the time and labor, how do we integrate that internally? How do we fetch the data? How do we fetch the employee data from the core HR system? How do we pass the Simon labor information to the payroll? All this are through the integration. And now we have understood why or how Oracle is going to help in time and labor. But before you start to implement, it is very important for us to know, if you have got any new clients who has come to you saying that they need to implement the time and labor, what is all the things that you should be knowing for yourself, and what is all the questions that you have to put forward to your clients? So there are some basic questions. It has to be started at the beginning itself. We must know what is their expectations. We must know what they are looking for. We must know what they had it before. So only knowing all of this in detail, we would be able to implement the time and labor successfully. So that effective planning is very important before we start to implement. Here are some key questions that we can ask. Um, First thing is, what is the expectations from Oracle? So you must, this is more like an informal question that you're not going to ask them and directly asking what is that you're expecting. You must understand from themselves, because you are the one who would be knowing what Oracle is actually giving. So what they are expecting from Oracle, you would know only when you discuss with them, and what is their expectation, what is their business requirement. On knowing that, you will be able to understand this yourself. Are they looking for the cost effective solution, so to reduce their cost in whatever they're using in the other system, that could be charging them more? So to reduce that cost, have they come to Oracle? Or is it because they have a very complex requirement on reporting uh, rules, because of which they are opting Oracle, and the other previous system or the legacy system isn't providing that? Or is it the accuracy, whatever the time tracking in the existing system they had got, are they not that effective? Are they not that accurate? So are they trying to achieve that accuracy? Is that why they have come to Oracle? You must know this, because we may think this isn't important, but this is very important before you start to time time and labor implementation. And the other most important question is we must know how many are they a global industry. So, or they have a multinational organization. That is, they have the branches in multiple locations. So, do they have that? In that case, how is that time and labor going to work in different places? Is it going to be the same uniform rules across the uh, different organization or different branches? They have got different department, or is it going to be different? So we must know this as well. And what is the current system? This is very important. What do they currently use for tracking the time and the time details of the step? What do they use? That we must know. So once we know how what is the system they use and how are they using, we will be able to implement the effective solution to them. Comparing to that, the more flexible solution, the more improved performance solution can be given to them. So it is important we know. We need to ask this question as well. So when you are sharing all the key questions with them, this is one question that you have to put it. And all these questions, it has to be tracked in a document. Uh, and we must, and also with the client, in the very first discussion, all this happens, we must check with them asking how do they want the template to be followed for tracking all this detail. So they would have the specific organization templates. They would have to track all of this because this is all going into some depository, and that would be maintained. So we must follow all their protocols as well. And work schedules. Yeah, this is one more important thing that we need to check with them, asking do they have in the existing system, do they have the work schedules assigned to this to the employees? If it is, how is it defined? How is that designed? uh, this is all something that is important to put it forward. And in case they are not looking for work schedules to be designed in the Oracle system, then how do we integrate this employee schedule system? It would be a third party. And we have to integrate because we have to get these details. The schedule details only if we know, we would be able to design the time tracking system in the Oracle. And how does the approval workflow works? So how do they want the approval to happen? How do the approval chain works in the current system, and how is it going to be different in the Oracle? Is it going to be same? If not, what is the customization they're looking for? And how should the notification get triggered to the staff, manager, or the HR payroll admins? So different types of user, how do they want to trigger such notification, and who should be approving, who are the key users to approve it? That must be known. And what reporting requirements do you have? So we have inbuilt reports in the Oracle systems like time summary details, and then work schedule details. So all these are all inbuilt. But if at all they're looking for some custom reports, what exactly it is, and where do we have to uh, uh, deposit all these reports? Do they need a dashboard that in a single access they will be able to see all of this, and who should be accessing it? So these are also something that must be known at the very beginning of the implementation. And the leave tracking system. So time and labor and absence management, it closely works. So if any staff is applying is recording his time in the timesheet, it is also important sometimes he takes leave. So it's important for us to manage the leave tracking also in that time labor tracking system. And how do we do that? How is it being done in the current system? So that uh, is one thing to be known. And how do they want Oracle system to handle the missed pension? That is, in case of any staff, if they are actually looking for a web clock or the punch in punch out or the biometrics. So how to, in case there are any staff misses to punch in or punch out, how it has to be tracked. can be, how the adjustment needs to be tracked in case there is any issues with it, how that needs to be tracked. So all of this also something that we have to ask them. And what are the different types of roles? Well, like I said, there would be a different types of roles for time and labor as well as we use it for the other modules. So this also needs to be known. And in case of any issues, the manager is expected to receive some real-time notifications. So yeah, this is more of a approval process, which we must be knowing. What is the plan for post go live support? That is, after the implementation, how do they want the support system to work? Are they having the current contracts with others to support after go live? That is, we call it as post go live support. So after that, do they already have the contract signed, or if there's any updates? We have regular updates happening in Oracle. Every quarter we have these updates, and how do they want to maintain this? How do they manage it? Do they have a plan, or are they looking that plan from us? This also needs to be discussed in detail. And I guess, yeah, these all sums up uh, what needs to be done during the implementation. What is all the thing to be known before we start to implement? So only if we get all the details, jot down everything. See, there are a few other questions that goes in deep, but these are some high level questions that we must be knowing before we start to implement. So in the following session, let's start to discuss something more in detail about the configuration, about the functional knowledge that we will require, everything we will go in detail. So yes, thank you.